We're going to take a little bit of a video of the UAV to try and give you an explanation of how it all works, and I thought it might be easier this way than doing a written procedure, and certainly quicker for us. So we're just going to give you a quick view around the UAV itself, and then talk through the controls on the remote itself, and a bit on Ardu Pilot as well. So first of all, just going to turn the remote on. So we're just powering it on. You come up with the intelligent energy screen.
Telemetry ready. Welcome to OpenTX.
It's giving us a throttle warning.
Switch warning.
Press anything to skip. So no telemetry data yet. So we're just going to turn the fuel cell system on, and that will power it up. So my beautiful assistant can press the button on the side. So it's just this button here. You press and hold it for about 3 seconds. You should be able to see a light turning on and flashing green now, I think. So if you can wait 90 seconds, it will go through a startup routine where you can hear the fans have stopped. They'll then restart again, and it will do this 3 times. If you can wait for the 3 times to happen, it's best for the fuel cell system, but you can skip this process, and we will do just for the sake of speeding this video up. So to enable the output, you just press the button again, which Yasin's going to do now, and the green light will start flashing, and we now have power to the UAV, and you can hopefully see we've got some power there. So we've now got 25 volts to the system. You might have noticed the fan stopped there. It's because it's not pulling enough power. It's still walking through its startup procedure. So next, I suppose, talk through the remote itself. So I was going to say, if I film this, Yasin, you can show us all through it. I'll see if I can get this into focus. I think they go. Yeah.
So on the left you have a voltage and current sensor, which is what the drone is seeing currently, 25 volts, and you got your cell voltage there. And then on the right you have tank pressure. So tank pressure is reported as 1 volt continuously, and then you have your percentage there. So right now the tank pressure is at 32%. You also have messages and such coming through on the bottom, and you have a artificial horizon right there. If you press the page button, which is the middle button over here, you can scroll through the various pages. So you have all your previous messages on there. You then have another screen where you can get your altitude and a couple of other parameters. Another screen where you can actually load maps onto the SD card if you want mapping view. And then finally you're back to that first screen.
Excellent. Should we talk through the buttons as well, or the start buttons? Or
Yep. So you have your standard mode 2 controls on here. Your arming switch is right there.
So SF.
Yep. You have your 6 flight modes on here. You can see what each flight mode is.
Do you want to cycle through them?
Yep.
Yeah.
So currently we've got stabilized flight mode.
That's number 1.
Yep. Switching to number 2 is loiter. You then have altitude hold. You have position hold. You have a land flight mode. And then finally a return to launch. This can all be changed in Ardu Pilot, as you're probably aware. On the side, this slide over here is what we use to control the legs. So right now the legs are deployed, and then if you want to retract them once you open there, you just slide that up.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I think that's pretty much covered everything on the remote side of it. So we'll go and take off and talk through a little bit more in a second. So we're just going to arm the system. So that's going to arm the props. I don't know if you can see out there.
Motors armed.
Motors are going to be armed. So I'm now going to power up to 50% because we've got it in loiter mode. So now I'm going to take off. The drone is now up in the air and in loiter mode. So we'll just leave it hovering there and talk through on here. So on the left you can see we're pulling 26 amps in hover at the moment. On the actual controller itself, we've limited the power draw to 55 amps just so we don't pull too much power from the system itself. On the right hand side you heard it saying battery 30%, that is actually your tank pressure on your right hand side there. And again you can see our voltage there at 24.3. So the fuel cell itself will output 25 volts. We're seeing 24.3, just the voltage drop through the system. If you see anything below probably 23.8, the chances are that you're starting to pull off the hybrid battery as well. So you also need to bear that in mind, that if you see that voltage drop below, anything below probably 22.5, you've probably been pulling off the battery for too long. So you need to just bear that in mind, that the battery is discharging. So you don't want to see that voltage go down any lower than that, ideally. Yeah, have I missed anything else? No, I think that's a fairly simple explanation of it all. But yeah, I suppose I can show the legs going up as well, can't I? So if you just slide this to all the way up, the legs will go up, just like so. And again, slide it back down, and the legs should come back down. I think that's probably about it as far as that goes. And other than that, it's a simple drone to fly. So I'll just take it for a little spin. So let's go. So the tank is also facing forwards, and the fuel cell is behind. There we go. Right, so we've just landed the UAV, so just simply to turn the system off, all you have to do is press and hold this button here for 3 seconds, and away you go. So the system's now off, and that's it, guys. So we're just going to disassemble this unit for packing, but obviously do the reverse when you actually assemble the UAV your side. So the battery housing is just here, and there's a couple of M3 bolts on either side which actually hold the hold the drone system onto the UAV itself. So we'll just undo those, and also we're going to be taking off the connectors on either side. So from the top, I don't know if you can see that from where I am. This is all in the manual, by the way. We've got our this is our thermistor cable for the battery thermistor. I'm just trying to pull out. There we go. This is our main power output, XT60 connector. This is the battery balance lead, and this is the battery input cable at the bottom. And on the other side, we've got the hydrogen hydrogen feed line. I'm just going to unscrew that. So this will be off. If the system is off, there won't be any gas. That's just a little puff that was left in the line. This is the customer interface cable, so this is what actually connects to the UAV itself. This is how we get our telemetry back. And this is the pressure cable, so this comes from the regulator here. It's this line. This allows the solenoid to open in the regulator head, and it also measures the pressure from this pressure transducer to give you the tank pressure. So yeah, I think that'll do it. We'll just take this off and then we'll talk through the next part. Right, so we've just detached the system. So there's a couple of bolts on the top of the FCPM, the fuel cell power module, that screw into these bolts here and here, there and there. So I'm just going to lift the battery case off. Oh, actually I need to just take this bit of strapping off, and then lift the battery out. So the battery then comes out like that, except I've forgotten to untangle the cables. Bear with me a second. So this is an XT60 extension for the battery, and then there's the balance cable here. I think that's everything. Should be able to lift this out now. There you go. So that would then sit on there like so. Right, so I suppose better show you underneath here. So we've actually got our weights here. So we're just carrying just over 1 kilo of payload here. So what, about 2.2 pounds. This was just to simulate a payload that you guys might be using. So we've just situated that right in the centre of it. So we're just going to drop that off, and we won't include that because we don't think that you'll need it. And then on the back we'll go through the hydrogen tank. So we've just spanned the UAV around, just talk through the hydrogen tank. So it's a 2 litre hydrogen tank that we've got on here. It's just held by straps on these brackets here and here. You just Velcro on, just find the centre of gravity. And then we've also got this on here. So I've just looped it through a what's it called? Okay. A zip tie, a cable tie. Oh, we might have to remove that. So you've got your tank here. Sorry, it's a bit of a bad video. This is the connection point for your gas. Sorry, do you want to just take that off for us, Yasin? It just pushes in and twists and then pops off. So that's how you connect onto your gas. We've got our regulator cable interface. So this is which connects onto our fuel cell system itself. We've got our fill line. So this is a fill line that we clip onto. So it's a quick release fill line for filling the gas cylinder. This is your pressure sensor, and this is our 2-bar pressure relief. So if you lift that up, you can hear gas coming out of that. So it's just an pressure relief. You could also potentially use this for venting down any gas before you then remove the regulator, because the system will actually turn off at 5 bar, so you will have 5 bar remaining in here. Even if you run it down to nothing in the fuel cell, you'll have to vent off the last 5 bar just by lifting that. Obviously do that in a well ventilated area when you're doing that. I'm just going to talk through the top, or rather Yasin is. So follow you, mate.
So we've got our Pixel Cube Black on a vibration dampener mount on there. Here to a GPS antenna. We've got a 433 megahertz radio for telemetry to your ground control station. That's transmitting at 100 milliwatts. And then we have a Jumper R8 radio transmitter with our 2 antennas on there, adjustable. We've got the T-Motor Air 40 amp PSCs dotted in the middle plate. And I think that's pretty much it in terms of components on the drone.
Finally, here's a picture of the UAV in its foam packing. I hope this video has been useful.